Okay, guys, so there's a lot to say about the Joker. There's a lot that has been said. I have covered it probably ad nauseum. I have covered this movie. I'm so looking forward to it hitting stateside tomorrow for people to finally sit down and see it and to have those conversations that they've been denied while having the access media browbeat you with this movie. It's going to cause incel violence. Even though I think they kind of maybe want it to be fair. But as I like to do, I like to take a look at what's being said on Rotten Tomatoes with its horribly designed look here. Can they not center it up? Jesus. Anyway. So what we're going to look here is what they're saying on Rotten Tomatoes about the Joker, because the last night, a bunch of critics got to go see it. A bunch of new critics got to go see it, and they're all going to run to Rotten Tomatoes, and they're all going to go to my thoughts and opinions. And it's my job, as always, to look at them and discuss it. So what we see here is a 74% Tomatometer based off of 202 verified reviews. 74%. That feels, for a movie that's being heralded as a masterpiece, right? The new classic, the new American classic, Todd Phillips and Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, a movie that's going to come in and knock your socks off. 10 out of 10. Perfect filmmaking. 74%. That 74%, I'm just letting you guys know, that ain't a legit 74%. And I don't really say this kind of crap very often, to be honest with you. That ain't a legit 74%. That is a woke 74%. That is an illegitimate score, because people are approaching this with the political mindset in mind. Even though what we're going to look at in regards to the top reviews right now, what they're showing right now, what Rotten Tomatoes is aggregating on the front page, which is generally what people look at in these particular, when they come here. This is why I do this series, because I show you what people are looking at and I analyze it. But here's what the critical consensus is. Joker gives this infamous central character a chillingly plausible origin story that serves as a brilliant showcase for its star and a dark evolution for comics-inspired cinema. Chillingly plausible origin story. We don't have supervillains in this world, folks. We have criminals. That's absolutely true. But when's the last time you ever heard about, really, I'll be honest. When's the last time you heard about a serial killer? Right? When's the last time there was a named serial killer? You know? Like the Son of Sam claimed his fifth victim. Like that type of branding. The Zodiac Killer. The Green River Killer. I mean, I think he was actually named after the fact, but ongoing type criminality situation. You know, you don't hear about Corn Pop no more. He was sent out of the damn news. Anyway, let's take a look here what people are saying, because again, what I like to look at here are what people say about it. The top reviews here. Again, I apologize for the terrible formatting on this stupid website. Okay, so James Berdinelli from Real Views here, top critic, gives it a fresh. Says, although it may be difficult to like this film in a conventional sense, it offers a powerful and unforgettable experience that few will find easy to shake. And considering that the movie is about holding a mirror up to society to an extent and satirizing it, from my understanding of the movie, that seems to be something that is going to be realistic. That you're not going to be easily able to shake it. I actually talked to a friend of mine today who lives in the Middle East, and he saw it, and I was like, "What do you think?" And he's like, "I'm still trying to figure that out." And this was hours after the fact. Carrie Langell, Arizona Republic top critic here, says with a fresh review, it's a film about cinema made by and for pop culture sophisticates. It doesn't have to mean anything. Now that's fascinating, that in Carrie's words here saying it doesn't have to mean anything. And that I think what he's trying to say, or he or she, I'm not too sure. Sorry. I don't want to misgender you, but I'm just going to say they. What I think they are trying to mean here is that people are putting a spin on this movie that doesn't need to be there. And that ultimately they are saying that it doesn't need to be. Katie Walsh here, Tribune News Service. I've seen her. She pops up quite often. She's a top critic. Negative Rotten review. 2 out of 4 stars. saying Joker is resoundingly one note throughout the majority of its running time, Phillips making unrelentingly grim for profound, which just renders the film punishingly dull. Well, if this is meant to be like a chillingly plausible origin story there, Katie, life is dull. Most of life is dull. You probably don't want to know what I did before recording this video because it's dull. And that's maybe perhaps what the film is trying to say. Again, this doesn't really, unrelentingly grim for profound. What does that even mean? I mean, the movie is unrelentingly grim. It's just, that's a terrible, horrible movie about a man named Arthur. That's not, yeah. Anyway. Brian Lowry here from CNN.com. Fake news. I'm kidding. Top critic, fresh review. Phoenix's live wire work alone makes Joker an intriguing film, if one that has been conspicuously overpraised amid the irrational exuberance of film festivals. Well, has it been conspicuously over? I mean, you gave it a fresh review, so has it been conspicuously overpraised? I mean, the guy who runs the Venice Film Festival came out basically just like deep throating this movie, and that's true. And it won the Golden Lion, but people walked out of Venice saying, bellissimo, bellissimo, so good. Like, excuse me, I had to go change my pants. Like, they came out and they loved it. They came out and they really liked it. So you would argue that maybe perhaps it wasn't conspicuously overpraised. It wasn't until it hit Toronto when the locals got to it. Or the wokals, really, right? That's what we should call it. The wokals. All right, so Richard Roper here, Chicago Sun-Times. I respect Roper. He says here, fresh review, with Phoenix appearing in virtually every minute of this movie and dominating the screen with his memorable creepy turn, Joker will cling to you like the aftermath of an unfortunate realistic nightmare. And that is interesting, right? That is really interesting. Michael Phillips here, Chicago Tribune, 1.5 stars out of 4, rotten. Says here, in a year of mass culture that gave us HBO's excellent Chernobyl, Joker can claim the grimmest depiction of a meltdown. I don't know, man. I mean, Chernobyl had like a dog literally melting. So I'm just saying, like, I get it, but also, you may want to pick your words a bit better. Anyway, Armand White, who hates everything, says Phoenix and Phillips turned Joker into a socio-political mishmash. Thanks, Armand. Hot take. The blue part of the flame hot take. Sean Chandler. Sean talks about something or another. Fresh review with an A rating. I'm assuming he's a YouTuber, I think, given the thumbnail there. Todd Phillips and Joaquin Phoenix successfully make a compelling comic book movie that focuses on character over spectacle. That's kind of the whole point, right? Todd Phillips saying, let's make a real movie under the auspice of under the guise of making it a comic book film. That pissed off a lot of people too. Anton Patel from Projected Figures gives it a fresh review saying, as uncomfortable accusatory character study, as it catches us on either side of Fleck's misplaced laughter and tries to get us all to dance to his bloody steps. Okay. Interesting. Robert W. Butler here from Butler's Cinema Scene. I just love that name, by the way. Gives it a B+ rating, fresh. Forget escapism. Joker rubs our faces in angst, yet it is brilliant in its ugliness. Sure. Of course this movie is not escapism. This is not a fantasy film. This is not a movie that's going to unzip your fly and go to town. Make you walk out of the theater going like, ooh, wow, yeah, I feel that in the back of my teeth. This is a movie that's going to make you stop and think about mental health and how it fails people and how it fails them relentlessly in our system. Because that's ultimately what this movie is about from everything I've heard about it. So Kate Roger from News Hub, which is out of New Zealand, says Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker will haunt the recesses of my soul until the end of time. It's a pretty high praise. Laura Clifford here, reeling reviews. The film's main asset is Phoenix's insane tour de force, the actor projecting a tortured physique, his torso twisted, ribs projecting as he moves with a grace that can only be called balletic or balletic or ballet. I don't know. Gives it an A- rating. And this is, there's 202 reviews that are giving this movie a massive amount of praise. Outside of a couple negative ones out there. And what I find interesting, though, and again, you have to understand that when it comes to Rotten Tomatoes, these critics, they're the ones who put up their own snippets. When they submit it, they put their own snippet, hope that it gets clicks, hope that it gets views, and apparently it does. One day, perhaps I'll be on there. But right now, they are holding back a bit, I think, from saying that it's going to cause real-world violence. I think in their reviews, they don't want to actually touch upon that, but they're going to leave it to the op-ed writers of their outlets to sit there and make those claims. So much so that the military's had to get involved. LAPD is getting involved. The New York Police Department's getting involved. They're sending undercover people to the theaters. NYPD is. I kind of want to do a longer breakdown of everything at some point in time. Really just kind of dive into it. Maybe I will. But in the meantime, does this impact your view of the film? Do you think that this is going to impact anyone's view of the film? Do you think the critics are right or they're wrong? Do you have tickets for tomorrow or this weekend? Are you afraid of a potential incel-based attack? I'm not. No matter how much I think the media wants it, I'm not going to capitulate to their demands. I'm not Warner Brothers. I'm a dude who likes going to the movies. I'm a person who enjoys going to cinema and seeing these stories played out on the big screen. We'll have to wait and see how things are going to go. Of course, I am always curious to hear your thoughts, hear your opinions. And again, if you guys like this particular setup, let me know. This will be more of a live stream setup. Maybe going forward, this is what will be happening for Hollywood After Dark. Kind of curious to know your thoughts. If you made it this far in the video, which I would really appreciate if you guys would slap on a like, type in Joker in the chat, leave a comment of some kind anyway. And I will talk to you all later. Have yourself a fantastic day. And peace out.